unfortunately, that business fails, you end up with nothing.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
But with a lot of investments options out there, just like what Aya had mentioned, you can actually grow that money exponentially and use whatever earnings we have from there, then invest that in a business. That way, your principal is still intact, and whatever happens, you still have a contingency of that 100,000.
But how many people actually invest? Let's say not just in the stock market, in the Philippines in general. How many people are investor-minded or investment-minded?
In terms of percentage, roughly.
Percentage, let's just cite a quick fact about a study by the Philippine Stock Exchange.
All right.
All right. They conducted a survey 2 years ago, 2008, wherein there's only 1/10 of 1% of the population.
0.01.
0.1% of the population who invests in the stock market.
Wow.
Okay, just imagine that. Relative to other Asian countries, Singapore has 33%, Korea has 10%, Hong Kong 17%. Ours is a very paltry figure. It's just, and despite all this advent of online trading, the market information about it, a lot of the Filipinos are not aware of investing their money. They're still stuck to the idea of my money should be put in the bank for it to grow. And we should change that. That's where I came
This is the investment they know.
Yes, that's right. The investment, bank deposits. That's all. That's because that's the traditional thinking.
Yeah. Put it in the bank, let it grow.
Earn 3%. At the end of I have 100,000. At the end of 1 year, I have 3,000. Less tax, I have 2,000 something.
That's why we need your help, Kendrick.
Yes, I'm glad to.
I'd just like to ask Aya here, why do you think that is?
Well, two things. First and foremost is education. Financial literacy or financial awareness is hardly ever covered within our school's curricula. Most colleges, I'm sad to say, we produce employees more than anything. Most people will never see, unless you take business or finance as a subject, you will not see anything about a balance sheet, you will not see anything about a managed fund anywhere during your educational life. So once that happens, how else will it enter your consciousness? In other countries, that is offset by the fact that there are institutions that pretty much make you part of the market. Like, let's say in the States, if part of your employment benefits is what they call the 401k, and most 401ks are invested in the market. So in a sense, you are forced to learn about it. Since it's part of the law, it's a benefit of yours. So you're forced to learn about it. If not at least the market, then managed funds, bonds, etc. Here, we don't have a structure like that. So once you start earning, it's pretty much up to you what you're going to do with your salary. But since
beer and cigarettes.
Well, but since you've never ever been taught to even think about these things, how would you even consider that? All you've heard, like you said, is put it in a bank, etc., etc. But investing, I mean, true investing or even true financial freedom can only be achieved by going beyond that. So that's really the issue, and that's really what we try to do in GIC. We really just want to educate people because that's where it starts. I mean, how can we even think about the stock market if most people don't even know what it is, how it works, and what it can do for them? And even not just that, I mean, just other bank services. I mean, there are so many, like you said, BPI has other bank products that are not the traditional deposit types that do give higher returns that can give you more options with your money, just as long as you physically go out and ask about it. So it's
right
sometimes
within your reach, actually.
Sometimes it's really just a matter of getting that brochure. But again, for some people, they look at the brochure, all of the technical terms, APR, all of these things, it just shuts down. So
I agree.
So again, it's that resource. Okay, I'm interested, but who do I ask? And again, as Filipinos, the problem is you don't want to be pressured sometimes into buying something. Okay, so if I ask you, does that mean I have to buy from you now? What if I don't like what I heard? There is also that dynamic in there.
Okay.
Interesting fact. Well, I understand that, Kendrick, you also invest in the stock market.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Would you, to our viewers, would you recommend that our viewers at least explore the opportunities?
Yes,
of the
I
stock
would
market right now?
recommend. I would recommend they try investing in the stock market. Although there's this, I've written an article about the misconception of the stock market.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to the Filipino mind, that's gambling.
Sugal.
Sugal.
Ah,
It's
yeah,
gambling.
yeah.
But then again, if you look at it, everything's a gamble. When you put up a business,
It's a gamble.
it's a gamble. There's risk. If you invest in other real estate, it's also a gamble.
Exactly.
But somehow, stock market has that image,
Yes.
that notoriety.
Yeah.
And so, but if you have that misconception, then you would not benefit from the bull run we're experiencing right now. And we have, year to date, we have what, 30+% already? Versus what you can earn from banks, so that's 3%. That's 10 folds more than what you can earn.
Really?
Yes, that's right.
Wow. Okay.
And if you have
I better call my stockbroker.
and if you have bought select issues, like one of my favorite stocks, which Alvin and I were discussing,
Which is?
Aboitiz Power.
yeah. Oh, okay.
I've earned 240% from that.
240%.
And it's still growing
How long? How long?
for a year.
A year?
Yes.
It's actually, to
That's
echo what
3
he's
times
saying,
more.
That's right.
the 52-week, I mean, if you go a year, 52 weeks, the 52-week low of Aboitiz Power was around 8 pesos 20, around 8.20.
Okay.
It's now in the low 30s, 34, 35, low to mid 30s right now, and that's within 1 year. So again,
Ka-ching.
the amount that you would have needed, how much you would have needed around 8,000 pesos to start.
8,000
Yeah,
bucks.
8,000 pesos. You could have,
Whoa.
okay, 8,500, call it 8,500 earlier this year. If you had that amount, you could have bought into it. And right now, your 8,500 would be around 33,000. And you haven't done anything. You still have your job. You still do what you want. So I guess that's of course a rare thing. It doesn't happen every year. But when it does,
It's a
I mean,
windfall.
Yeah, it's really a windfall. And that's one thing that the market does bring you. Now, some people may say, well, Aboitiz Power, haven't really heard of it. It's something new. But even well-known companies have done very well this year. SM, the one that run all of the malls,
Yeah.
I mean, they've also done very, very well for the year. And even companies such as AGI, but again, that's not as well known. But of course, there are risks, like what he said. Even companies like Globe is actually down around 10% for the year.
Yeah, but in general,
In general, over time, they tend to make money. At least the good ones tend to make money. And if your target is only to beat the 1 to 2% that you are making right now,
yeah, you can do that.
it's a very, very viable option.
Okay, so I mean, before we move into why SMEs or the SME board, I just want to. So you're saying yes, there are stocks that can earn you big, and there are stocks that will be stable, but you mentioned also fleetingly, you mentioned that that we have there are stocks that actually go down.
Yeah,
right?
yes, they do.
All right. So I mean, how do you avoid these stocks? But before you answer that, I think we're going to go into a break. So just give a little bit of that, and then after the break, we'll go into the SME board.
The first thing I guess would be to really examine the business that the company is in. I mentioned Globe earlier on that their stock has gone down for the year, and a big reason for that is that competition in the phone business is very, very intense. I mean, everyone who wants a cell phone pretty much has one at this point.
Or two.
Yeah, or 2 or 3 even in some cases. So profit margins are being squeezed. So they have to adjust and create new income streams for them to be able to once again be on the positive side of earnings.
Well, knowing them, it'll probably happen. Anyway, when we get back, we will be talking about the SME board. What's in it for you as an SME? All right? We'll be back after this break. Thank you for coming back and watching. I'm Boom San Agustin. You're watching the Business Portal, and this is SME Forum. Well, we left the first half with a question, and now we have a text-in question from Ace of Caloocan. he just got in actually, and he interrupted my. No. Okay, okay, Alvin, could you read the question, please?
I have a bad credit rating due to canceled unpaid credit cards when I was young. Will that affect my plans of investing in stocks? What if I fail the background investigation? Thanks,
Kendrick?
Ace, for the question.
All right.
Ace, thanks. Okay.
Yeah,
Kendrick.
thank you, Ace, for your question. No, there won't be any background investigation when you invest in the capital markets. Basically, as long as you have the money, okay, and that money is sourced through legal means, if I may add.
Make that clear, yes.
Yes, there's a disclaimer there. Sourced through legal means. Then you won't have any problems at all.
Okay, so
then I would encourage you to invest. Start investing now.
Yeah. With as little as I mentioned, 8,500.
Actually, 5,000. You can
5,000,
start.
yes,
$5,000.
Even lower, but I would
Oh, okay. So $5,000, you can start investing. Wait a minute, $5,000?
yeah.
No, it's not. No, I think we're going into the SME board right now. Okay, could you just give me a little bit an explanation how this 5,000 pesos comes into play in the?
Well, the thing is, shares are issued in what we call lots. So you usually have to buy them in hundreds or tens, depending on the price. So actually, the figure is even lower. I just rounded it up to 5,000. But for example, Manila Water, the price is